We've all had that moment. You're in a meeting, or a date, or an argument. The stakes are high. Someone asks you a tough question, and nothing. Your brain flatlines. You stare at them with the intelligence of a baked potato. You stutter, you sweat, and you say something weak like, agree? Then, 20 minutes later, you're in your car, and boom, the perfect comeback hits you. It is witty, brilliant, and devastating. You scream it at your steering wheel, but it's too late. You lost. The French actually have a fancy name for this phenomenon. Wait, l'esprit de escale. Okay, look, I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't speak croissant. Let's just call it staircase wit. It basically means you only become a genius when you are walking down the stairs, leaving the party, and nobody is there to hear it. The perfect comeback arrives, but the audience is gone. Today, we are going to fix the lag. We are going to look at the neuroscience of why you freeze, steal a Stanford Business School framework for speaking, and learn the psychological trick to weaponize silence. First, we have to understand why you turn into an idiot when you're nervous. You aren't stupid. You are just biologically malfunctioning. It's called an amygdala hijack. When you feel social pressure, like a boss staring at you, your brain treats it the exact same way as a tiger chasing you. Your amygdala hits the panic button. It floods your body with cortisol. The problem is, this shuts down your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for logic, language, and not acting like a caveman. So literally, the more you need to be smart, the dumber you become. Most people try to fight this by forcing themselves to talk faster. That is the worst thing you can do. That just adds more stress. To reboot your prefrontal cortex, you don't need speed, you need a hard reset. This brings us to the spotlight effect. Psychologists at Cornell found that we vastly overestimate how much people notice our mistakes. You think a 3-second pause makes you look like a glitching NPC. In reality, the audience doesn't see glitch, they see thought. When you get asked a tough question, do not answer. Shut up. Count to 3. This does 2 things. First, it calms your amygdala and brings your prefrontal cortex back online so you can actually use words. Second, it signals authority. Think about it. Who talks instantly? The nervous intern trying to please everyone. Who pauses? The CEO. The expert. Barack Obama pauses for so long you think the video buffered. Silence isn't empty space. It's a power move. Use it to reboot your brain. Okay, your brain is back online. Now, what do you actually say? If you try to improvise a speech from scratch, you will crash. Your working memory can only hold about 3 to 5 chunks of info at once. If you try to structure an argument while speaking, you overload the system. You need a structure before you open your mouth. Matt Abrahams, a professor at Stanford Graduate School of Business, teaches a specific framework for this. It's called what? So what? Now what? This is the skeleton key for every conversation. First, what? State the problem or the fact. Second, so what? Explain why it matters to the person asking. Third, now what? Propose the next step. Let's say you're in a job interview and they ask, tell us about a time you failed. Most people ramble for 10 minutes. You use the code. What? I once missed a major deadline because I didn't communicate with my team. So what? It taught me that hiding problems is worse than the problem itself. Now what? Now, I set up weekly check-ins to make sure that never happens again. Whew. Clean, structured, smart. You didn't have to invent the flow, you just filled in the blanks. Finally, there is one hard truth. You cannot output high-quality thoughts if you are inputting low-quality garbage. Verbal fluency is correlated with reading volume. If your brain is fed a diet of 15-second TikToks, meme captions, and drama alerts, your vocabulary shrinks. You don't have the raw materials to build complex sentences on the fly. You don't need to read Shakespeare, but you need to read something that has paragraphs, articles, newsletters, books. Feed your brain words, and it will give you words back when you need them. Thinking fast isn't magic. It's a mechanism. Beat the amygdala by stopping to breathe. Use the Stanford framework so structure saves you from rambling. And read more to speak better. Next time you feel the panic rising, don't rush. Pause. Let the staircase wit come to you before you leave the room. Now, go have a conversation with a real human being. Or just subscribe.